The Art of Saying No. Setting Boundaries in Work and Life. Introduction. Why saying no is hard, but necessary. From a young age, we are taught to be helpful, agreeable, and accommodating. Whether it's at work, with friends, or in family relationships, we often feel pressured to say yes to requests, even when they drain our energy or conflict with our priorities. Saying no feels uncomfortable because we fear disappointing others, damaging relationships, or missing out on opportunities. But constantly saying yes to everything comes at a cost: stress, burnout, resentment, and a loss of control over our own lives. The good news: learning to say no isn't about being rude or selfish. It's about setting healthy boundaries that allow you to focus on what truly matters. This book is about reclaiming your time, energy, and peace of mind by mastering the skill of saying no with confidence and kindness. Chapter 1. The Power of No. Why Boundaries Matter. Boundaries are essential in all aspects of life. They help define what is acceptable and what is not. Without boundaries, people will continue to take advantage of your time and energy, often without even realizing it. Why we struggle with saying no. Fear of disappointing others. Guilt about not helping. Pressure to be nice or a team player. Worry about missing opportunities. However, saying yes to everything means saying no to yourself, your time, goals, and well-being. Reframing no. Instead of seeing no as a rejection, think of it as heavy checkmark, a way to protect your time. Heavy checkmark, an act of self-respect. Heavy checkmark, a tool to avoid burnout. Chapter 2. Identifying when to say no. Before you can confidently say no, you need to recognize when saying yes is hurting you. Signs you need to set boundaries. You feel overwhelmed with responsibilities. You're constantly exhausted or stressed. You say yes out of obligation rather than choice. You resent commitments you agreed to. You have no time for your personal priorities. The yes versus no test. When someone asks for something, ask yourself, white heavy check mark, does this align with my goals or priorities? White heavy check mark, do I have the time or energy to do this without stress? White heavy check mark, will saying yes make me feel resentful? If the answer to any of these is no, it's time to set a boundary. Chapter 3. How to say no without guilt or conflict. Saying no doesn't have to be aggressive or rude. It's all about how you communicate it. Simple and effective ways to say no. Keycap 1. The direct no, for when you want to be clear and firm. I appreciate the offer, but I have to decline. Keycap 2. The polite no, for when you want to soften the message. Thank you for thinking of me, but I can't commit to this right now. Keycap 3. The delayed no, for when you need time to decide. Let me check my schedule and get back to you. Keycap 4. The alternative no, for when you want to offer another solution. I can't take this on, but I can recommend someone who might be able to help. Keycap 5. The no with gratitude, for when you want to decline but maintain a good relationship. I'm honored you thought of me, but I have to pass this time. Chapter 4. Setting Boundaries at Work. Saying no in the workplace can feel risky, but it's necessary to maintain a healthy work-life balance. Common work scenarios and how to say no. White heavy checkmark, when your boss gives you extra work. I'd love to help, but I'm currently at full capacity. Can we prioritize my current tasks before adding more? White heavy checkmark, when a colleague asks for help constantly. I'd love to assist, but I'm working on a tight deadline. Maybe we can find another time. White heavy checkmark, when you're asked to stay late or work overtime. I won't be able to stay late today, but I can help first thing in the morning. White heavy checkmark, when you're invited to a meeting that isn't necessary. I don't think I'm needed for this meeting, but I'd be happy to review notes afterward. Learning to protect your time at work prevents burnout and increases productivity. Chapter 5. Setting Boundaries in Personal Life. Your personal life also requires healthy boundaries to protect your energy. Examples of when to say no. Triangular flag, when friends always expect you to make plans. I love spending time together, but I'd appreciate it if we could take turns planning. Triangular flag, when family members demand too much of your time. I care about you, but I need some personal time this weekend. Triangular flag, when someone asks for a favor you can't commit to. I'd love to help, but I'm unavailable right now. Triangular flag when you're invited to an event you don't want to attend. Thank you for the invite. I won't be able to make it, but I hope you have a great time. Setting boundaries with loved ones can feel difficult, but real relationships respect your limits. Chapter 6. Overcoming guilt and sticking to your no. Even when we successfully say no, guilt can creep in. How to let go of guilt. Heavy checkmark. Remind yourself that saying no is necessary for your well-being. Heavy checkmark. Reframe the situation. Would you expect someone else to always say yes? Heavy checkmark. Recognize that no is not rejection, it's prioritization. Heavy checkmark. Practice self-compassion. You deserve time for yourself too. The more you say no without guilt, the easier it becomes. Chapter 7. Creating a life of balance and boundaries. By learning to say no with confidence, you'll white heavy checkmark. Reduce stress and overwhelm. White heavy checkmark. Have more time for what truly matters. White heavy checkmark. Build healthier, more respectful relationships. White heavy checkmark. Feel in control of your life again. Remember, saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you self-aware. Your challenge: 7 days of saying no. For the next 7 days, challenge yourself to say no at least once a day, whether at work, in relationships, or in everyday situations. Every time you say no, you create space for something better. Are you ready to take back control of your time and energy? It starts today.